Yeah, quick question. So you said the modular home was paid for?
The modular home is the payment, the last payment to mobile home sales in Paso Robles has been made for that last $107,000. So there's no more money owed to mobile home sales. So that payment covered the modular and the installation of the modular. It doesn't cover the ground floor. And we still have a note to pay for home capital. It's our annual payment.
So you borrowed, well, this is kind of, maybe we go to the next item, because that's the home and capital is on here, is for about $335,000.
We already have that in place. That was it's been in place for 2 years.
So the mobile home was $214,000, then we have another loan for $335,000.
No. No, that was with interest, and I'll let the financial officer speak to that, because once you start moving principal and interest and things around, it gets complicated beyond my expertise to describe that, but I believe,
Because it says,
we were at 270.
It's $274,378
Right.
for principal loan from home and capital. The total loan from home and capital was $335,763. That's on page 330.
right, that includes the interest.
Yes.
No, yes,
The 335 includes interest.
okay. And the $214,000 for the mobile home was paid
That's
to
part of
somebody
that.
else?
That's part of that already. That was part of our initial financial agreement with home capital. So we had 214,000, then we had these other items that were listed down below. We had permit fees, we had design fees, we had all these other items that made up the master loan for home capital. And through the process, we've expended our funds for site prep, for furnishings. We need desks and things of that nature, and the driveway, things like that, and our electrical installation. The irony about this whole project, in my opinion, is the laser focus on the minutia regarding nomenclature for what the facility was called. But when it came to the utilities being tied into the existing fire station, nobody cared. The utilities going to the sewer line, nobody cared. The water system coming in, nobody cared. It was just this babble about what it was to be called. But that didn't answer your question. So if you go to page 131, that should give you a summary. So we have a loan of $274,120.40. That was the bulk of our financial agreement, and $214,110 was to pay for the modular home. The estimate on the left side of the page gives you the breakdown of what we projected the cost to be and how we came to that number. And then we have an interest payment over 10 years of $61,384.15. They gave us a total loan amount of $335,763.10.
This might confuse you, but you said the mobile home is paid for.
We still have a payment, an annual payment on it though. So
It's not paid for.
Finance.
It's
Finance.
Right, so it's not paid for.
No, it ain't paid for.
Okay.
So the mobile home company has all the money for the home.
Yes.
But the fire department still has an outstanding loan with home and capital to pay that off.
and it's not with the mobile home.
So the mobile home company's not gonna get another check. They've been paid in full for what they're owed as part of this loan. It's like a mortgage.
2 years ago, we received this loan from Home and Capital.
Well, the mobile home's paid for, so we have a mortgage on the mobile home.
Yes.
So the mobile home is not paid for.
At the manufacturer level, it's paid for.
Well,
The distributor.
someone else has the deed for the mobile home. Okay,
Yes.
all right, gotcha. Okay, now I understand. Okay, thanks.
Dr. Hughes?
Yes, I still have my question. The property that this is going on, and all this money is going on, we need to extend the lease on that property, in my opinion, before we put another dime into it. I mean, it needs to be a written lease, probably at least another 10 years, prior to going any further. I know you say this guy is a nice guy and so on. Well, nice guys sometimes aren't so nice when it comes to money. So I would suggest that before you do anything else, concentrate on getting at least a 10-year lease extension on that property.
So we are exercising our extension from our original lease, and we have one more year to go on that. And beyond that, I've been in conversations with Mr. Keller, and he is in favor of extending our lease. He has no intention of doing anything with that property. So once or prior to our final extension lapses, then we'll engage them and get that done. But there's no interest in the Keller family doing anything with the property at this time. It's been that way for decades, and they're willing to extend our lease or come up with an entirely new lease.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'd get it on paper.
It is on paper. The future is not on paper, but
That's what I'm saying.
we haven't got to the end of our original agreement yet.
But I think it's something we should be working on
We are.
diligently.
When does that lease expire?
I believe in May.
May of 2025, yeah.
Yes.
You said that you're working on it now. I mean, there isn't any reason why you couldn't.
It's just, we have 8 more months on our lease, and so we will have another lease done before this one expires, clearly.
Well, I think the board would be more comfortable if you had it months and months ahead of time. There isn't a reason why we couldn't get it a new lease already written and signed when that one expires. So that,
Yes.
make sure that there isn't anything that is a hiccup.
No, I understand
That would be
completely.
unfortunate. Yeah.
But we are at, the stage where we're at now, so this has been fairly time consuming, but I've had conversations with Mr. Keller.
Okay, good.
So the path is open, and I see no resistance, but once we get the signature on the bottom of the page, then we'll be done with that.
Okay, very good.
Public comment?
Yes, thank you for it. I can't believe what I just heard in the last 15 minutes. What does this building cost per square foot?
$365,
$365 a square foot. How many square feet is it?
1,100. I shouldn't be talking to you, I apologize.
Nothing. It's like, and you don't know if you're gonna have a lease in 2 years from now, 5 years from now, where you're gonna have to do it, whatever. The well reports that are going out have a 99-year lease. I know other people that you don't even know if you can, what happens in 2 years from now when you spend all this money and you no longer can use this property. I don't think there's one person in this room that owns property that would do that. So, you guys gotta do what you're gonna do. It's your board, it's your town, it's your whatever. It's your fire department. It's amazing to me. I would never invest thousands of dollars in something that I didn't know that in a few years I might not be able to be here. But it's your fire department is great. Your chief is great. It has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with you don't have the capability of making sure that you have this property for the duration of what you need to do with what your investment is. Are you gonna pick up this modular home and put it on the next guy's property that's down the road? And then what does that cost? None of this stuff makes sense to me, so whatever, thank you.
Any other public comment? Not. Item 4, 10-year interfund loan between street lighting fund and the fire fund in the amount of $80,000 by resolution 2024-44, approved by 3/5 vote.
We're moving forward.
I'm gonna discuss it.
Okay. The subject is, we just discussed pretty much the nuts and bolts of the entire project. So we're looking at reviewing and approving resolution 2024 authorizing the interfund loan between street lighting and fire for $80,000 to complete the temporary housing unit. The discussion started with temporary housing unit project in 2022, Colon Capital. We had a loan amount of $335,736.10, including interest. Permitting for the temporary housing unit led to additional requirements and significant time delays with escalating project costs beyond the original loan amount. Fire Chief, General Manager, and the Financial Officer met to discuss the remaining costs after reviewing the extended projected costs. There's a project deficit of $80,000 to completion of the project. The project deficit includes overages for road fees, design, bonding, was another thing we had to do, as well as costs for on-site work and furnishings. And then it gives you the details of what we're looking at doing. I can read the entire report if you'd like, or I'm assuming you've looked at it.
Yeah.
If you're done listening to me, thank you. Had a lot of talking the last couple of days, so I appreciate it.
Okay.
So the bottom line with the transfer of the loan is it will not impact rates at all for any of the district services that are provided. It's not going to have an impact on water rates. It's not going to have an impact to sewer rates. It's not going to have an impact to lighting. What we're going to do is the fire department will pay that back in increments for 10 years. If for some reason, well, let's back up. So we do have a strategic plan. The strategic plan is a 5-year window to move forward with the construction of another facility for the fire department through this process and the delays that came up front with the code enforcement violation on that fire department that set us back some time. So our window was a 5-year window for moving forward to the next project. So now, with the completion of this project, we're going to start focusing on the next project. So in summary, we're hoping 5 years would be the amount of time this building will sit on that property that the Kellers own. Worst case scenario, we sell it if everything does not work out, which I don't anticipate happening, but that's the parachute. We have a product that's worth money and we can sell it. It's not a stick-built home where you can't do anything with it, it's trapped there. The reason the product, and you all understand why the home is, or the unit is placed where it's placed, is because the property to the north is owned by the district and that is the future expansion. So if we put a modular building there, when we go to construct the building to the north, we would have to move it again. So strategically, that's why we contacted the Kellers and asked for use of their property.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Renee, you have a comment?
No, I don't have any other questions, except did they ever, I forgot to ask you this, number 3, but asking you now, do they require, or are they going to trip down some of those trees since they are in the counties? A limb just fell the other day.
I love to hate those trees. That has been a bone of contention back and forth, and who owns those trees is always in flux. You know, the trees are in a county right away, and when we were going through the curb gutter sidewalk improvements, you know, who was going to mitigate the trees? The counties, sometimes the county says they're theirs, sometimes the county says they're not theirs. The bottom line is we will find a way to trim those trees.
I love trees, but they just,
Yeah.
their branches are falling all the time, and I worry that it's gonna fall on this unit.
We could, fortunately, they're leaning towards the road, so when they do fall, they'll impact the road. But
Fall fall on a car.
yeah, the trees are problematic. They've always been problematic, but you know, the county has ordinances about removing trees, even though those are non-native invasive species. So it's on our list to do is deal with the trees and the tree branches. We just chipped a few of them. They do provide a considerable amount of shade, and it's better than
Yes.
just dirt.
I understand. I don't have any other questions or comments about that.
Yeah, so in 5 years, you're planning to build another facility.
That is our goal and
So I
hope.
guess, so what's happening in the next 5 years where you're gonna get the funding for that?
So currently, it's a different subject altogether. I don't know if I can.
So I'm just wondering if we're
Can I speak
spending,
with Christine? I can see her face in the corner of Kelly's monitor.
Yeah, because it has to do with the decision of whether to make the interfund loan transfer. It's appropriate to talk about.
So via FEMA, we applied for a FEMA loan to build out an EOC. And it was a rapid process that just kind of came across our desk from Congressman Panetta's office. And with Congressman Panetta's office and Senator Laird's support and Supervisor Prashant's support, we were able to get a grant application on the floor of the House Appropriations Committee, and we have about $1.2 million sitting there waiting for release, and that funding would be used to start the next phase of our project. That project is in flux as to what the actual design is going to be. So, you know, we had some concepts, but when we wrote the grant application, we gave ourselves some flexibility as to what we were going to do. $1 million isn't going to buy us a whole lot, but it's going to get us started. So we are already in the process of moving forward. It's just how we can spend those funds and when we can spend those funds is still unknown to me. And we're always looking for money.
okay, all right. So we got this grant we're hoping to get, well, we're spending $437,000 for the mobile structure. So going back to this loan, why are we taking this money from lighting? I'm looking at a fund report from, that was in July, we didn't have a current one. So I see Impact Premier Capital, there's $221,000, excuse me. Community Bank, $107,000. Cambridge Investment, $99,000. So it looks like the buyer has some reserves and some money, so I don't understand why we're taking money from the lighting department.
That was the best path forward that the staff came up with. We didn't want to deplete the fire's capital holdings to finish this project, so an interfund loan seemed to be the most palatable approach. That way, when we do apply for grants and loans, we have some cash reserve because, you know, they're going to say, look, how are you going to pay that back? Or if there's a matching component to that grant, they want to see that, you know, you can meet that match. So that's why we chose this tact.
And so that you understand correctly, the community bank of Santa Maria, that is the escrow account for the Holman loan. So that is no longer.
Yeah, there's $258 in there.
Okay, so this 107 that was there in July,
That's been paid to the manufactured home
Okay.
company.
okay.
Yeah, that was the final payment to manufactured home sales for the product and the installation.
And then we have a 10-year payback on something that we only plan to keep for 5 years.
So the agreement would be that if it's sold before the end of the term, that if the loan would be paid back immediately with any proceeds.
We have that same agreement with Holman Capital as well. We have a 5-year mandatory, and we're getting close to that, but beyond the 5-year, we can pay that loan off with no financial impact. So if we get to that 5-year mark, we're moving forward with our fire station. We get it built within 5-6 years. We sell that product. We recoup most of our losses.
And then just going back to when I first came on this board, I remember there was some flack going on about some loan that was made, that the money was written off or some crazy deal.
So we had a separate loan that has nothing to do with this, but there
Oh, I
was a
know.
separate loan between funds.
Well, it's the same price.
That was paid back, but in paying it back, they didn't record it correctly, so there was evidence that the loan was paid back, but we had a trailing amount that had no purpose and could not be tied to anything. So that's what was written on. And that had to do with the previous loan related to the wastewater treatment plant from
All right, well,
10+ years ago.
in my opinion, if the fire has money, which I think they do, I don't think they should be taking money, you know, from another department.
Just as a reminder, The capital reserves are earmarked for items, and operational reserves, with our reserve policy, a lot of that is spoken for. It's not just available.
Okay, so $221,000 in the capital reserve, and I would assume this is a capital project. You're saying that's already committed?
We have part of that for payments for the loans that we have for the fire engine, for this loan, the Holman loan. That money is being kept there to make future payments. We have a 1 year, 2 year reserve in there for those payments.
So our current revenues are not enough to make the current obligations that we have. We're drawing down reserves. Is that what you're hearing?
Those are capital expenses, so we pay with them with capital funds. So the common practice has been, we participate in Master Mutual Aid campaign fires. Those funds are to be utilized for capital projects only, so we replenish our capital reserve with those funds. Unfortunately, this year, the fire season was very active, but my ability to participate was next to nothing, so we only made it out a couple assignments. So hopefully in the future, we'll get another engine boss and be able to participate more.
Okay, the Cambridge investment, $99,800.
That's a CD. So
Right.
that's a 2 year CD.
Okay, when does that come to?
That's relatively new. I don't know exactly when it's due, but approximately 20 months from now, probably.
That one is March of 26.
Okay, thank you.
Victor, Paul?
No, I think I've already said enough on that one. But like I said, the only problem, you think, if something happens in 5 years, modular homes depreciate like crazy. So, if you ever think you're gonna get any of that $335,000 back for selling, you might get 200 back, but you're not gonna get, they depreciate.
Yeah, there's homes that are going up for sale within a mobile home park within our community, and they're 30 years old. They're getting $212,000 for them. I can't predict what the future market's going to bear,
Right.
but we'll have something that's of high quality, low use.
Yeah.
I think it'll hold up fairly well, but I'm not able to predict the future.
Thank you. Public comment?
Yes, thank you, Chairperson Smiley, very, very well. So, I don't understand this capital fund, so you want to make money not being here. So the way I'm understanding it, you didn't have an opportunity to go out of your area which you're being paid to protect, to go somewhere else to make money. Then you want to take money from the light district. Then you have rent money. Then you have your housing money. Then you have your loan. I'm not getting this whole deal on what you think you're doing. You're not going to sell a modular home to somebody else at 2, 10, whatever, 6, 4, firemen lived in, screwing around. I'm sorry, ain't gonna work. You're gonna move that building to another building. You have property that's yours and you're not using it because you want to do a future thing there later. How many years has it taken you to get to this point for the make-believe thing? So you could put the make-believe thing on your property, already had it done, and then move the make-believe thing off of your property when you get the final thing. Have you ever heard the term OPM? Other people's money? So when people use other people's money, there's 4 things. When I spend my money on myself, I make sure I spend it the right way. When I spend my money on other people, I make sure I spend it the right way. When I spend other people's money, I don't care what I do. And when I spend other people's money on what I don't really care to do, I don't really care. So, we're spending other people's money on stuff for other things instead of what we need to be doing. I don't know how many people you have in this community. I know you have, I think, 900 water meters, whatever. I guess they're paying for everything. But I'm like, you're not helping these people. Who's benefiting out of a modular home that moves here, there, whatever, has this many people, that many people, can't do this, can't do that, you're paying this loan, you're paying that loan, you're renting this, you're renting that. I'm like, really? You would not do that on your own property. You would not do that with your own money. But when it's other people's money, no big deal, because it's other people's money. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Okay. This time, does anybody have a motion?
I'll motion. To approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion on the floor to approve resolution 2024-44 by Director Gregory, second by Director Smiley. We'll have a vote. Director Gregory?
Yes.
Director Davis?
No.
Director Baker?
No.
Director Smiley?
Yes.
So it fails 2-2, one absent vote.
Can we put this on a future agenda?
If it's the wish of the board to table it, or to...
Table it to the next meeting.
I want to be available for the next meeting, Mr. President.
Do you want to table this item as is, or would you like to see something else?
As is.
Do you have anyone else?
I would like to table it until the December meeting.
Okay, so you would like to table it till the December meeting? Are you okay tabling it until December, or would
No,
you
I'm not.
prefer to table it to another meeting? So you just need two people to agree to table it to something.
Well, is it necessary for Scott to be here for us to discuss it again?
With all second, Owens, deal with it to the south.
So we have,
I would like to, I would like to just move it to the next meeting. I don't see the need
Yeah.
to discuss it.
Sorry.
So we've already discussed it. Do you really need to be here at the next meeting?
It's
To
entirely up
discuss
to
it?
the board. I just typically am gone the last week of October. You could entertain having a special meeting between now and then. You could do it in November. You can do it in my absence. I can attend, maybe virtually. I don't know how well that's going to work. You could vote to put it off till December. You could make a motion
okay
to
with-
sell the project.
I'm okay with October.
Yeah, 2nd October.
So this isn't a formal motion. If we have two directors that want it on the next agenda, that's where it's gonna go. And then maybe a fifth director will be there. Scott, will you be available for Director Calvin's to discuss this item with you separately in case you are not able to be at the meeting?
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe remotely, okay.
I got a objection. Okay, they said they wanted to table it until October, and there was two here that wanted to table it until December, so how come it's those two that get their way, and the two that want to table it until December don't have a say about it?
Because the board policy manual says that two directors can put an item on any agenda, and you have two directors that want to place this on the October agenda.
You had two that wanted to place it on the December agenda.
right, so what she's saying is that
You're right, so it could get put on both.
So we can put it on December, but we also have two that want it on October, so we can put it on October and December. Did you want to see something come back with it or before it? To
No.
have it on December, or you just want it to be on December?
I just want it to be on December.
So no other information?
I don't think we need anything. I mean, it's pretty well explanatory on what's going on.
I just want to make sure we have the correct information when it comes back, so.
Yeah.
October.
But not in October, in December.
So I'll have to defer to legal on how that goes, but to me,
It could be a vote now.
no matter what it is, if somebody wants something in October, then that would be before December.
Right, well,
I'm fine with it being in December, right? Doesn't matter to me.
yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, I just really think December would be better.
We've never deferred a item to several months later, ever. It's always been the next month or the month after. So we need to be in a timely manner to get this taken care of.
It don't matter, two board members.
That's why we're doing it for.
Two board members want it in October, two board members want it in December.
Great,
So,
let's do both.
Christina, you're saying we can have it in October and in December?
Your board policy manual dictates how things end up on the agenda at board request.
Okay.
It says that if two board members request an item to be on a specific agenda, that it will be placed. It doesn't address competing motions, and it doesn't address the situation where two directors want it to be on a different agenda. And so in which case, under your board policy manual, in this situation, it gets placed on both.
Thank you, Christina. Okay.
can it be, this is just a question to you, Christine, can it be in the October, can it just be for discussion without a vote?
Directors Smiley and Gregory worded it so that it would be tabled this specific item, which is discussion and possible action. So that's the way it's going to be on October, unless those two directors change what they want to do for October.
It has to be with the resolution.
That's what we'll be in October.
The only way to fix a situation like this is to update the board manual if you guys want to in some manner.
Is what?
Is to update the board manual in some manner to address a situation such as this. But in the absence of that, we just have to go with what the board manual says